Hi everyone, good morning. It's Tricia Roberts and we're back for Live Art Wednesdays. Just finishing a few final preparations. So I'm gonna hop on our Facebook page, make sure I'm live and ready to go. I just got a notification on my phone, so that seems really good. Good news there. I hope everyone is having a great fall so far. It's a little chilly for my liking at this point. I'm really missing like the 50s and the 60-degree weather. The 40s is a little chilly for me, but I'm excited. Anyways, because fall is one of my favorite seasons. So I'm gonna give us just a minute. Make sure you're gathering all your supplies, your pipe cleaners, your yarn, a chair. I didn't put that in the list, but you will want a chair to do your yarn wrapping in. And let me just double check that we are live. And yes, we are. Great. So at this point, I have a few quick announcements. We do have a couple classes coming up this fall. We have a kids watercolor class with Mary Sarnicki. That is this Saturday. You have through today to sign up. So if you're watching this, you're looking for something to do this weekend, sign your kids up for our watercolor class on Saturday. That's 10:30 to noon. We have a holiday chair painting class, so you'll get a wooden chair and all your supplies, and Mary Starnicki will lead you through the prepping and painting of that chair. That is Saturday, November 7th. Sunday, November 8th, we're having our makeup fall wreath class. So we had to cancel our earlier fall wreath class, but Alexis is ready to go and we have all the supplies for you. So that'll be Sunday, November 8th. And then in early December, we're thinking about doing a holiday porch decor class, maybe a steel bucket with some live evergreen branches and things like that. So a mixture of live and decorative features. So hang out with us at the PAC this holiday season, get your crafting on, get your art class on. It's a great way to kind of get out. We do require masks when we're inside. We do physically distance. You know, we have hand sanitizer and a lot of different things around and available for you. Currently too, we have our plein air exhibit in our great room. I walked through it yesterday with Dana and it's stunning. It is really stunning to see the small works that our painters in our community have created. So if you are looking for someplace to go, you can head to the PAC during our open hours. That's Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. through 4 p.m. and then Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 3. Okay, so let's get started today. Today we're working on a Halloween themed garland. So if you are like me and love fall and love Halloween, I'm just gonna pull my chairs in here. I love decorating for the fall too. And our son, Hugh, who's 3, also is really excited about spooky things. So this is gonna be a fun project for us. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create different yarn characters that we can hang on a garland, or you could, I guess you didn't have to put them on a garland, you could hang them up on different places. So we're gonna create a spider, we're gonna create a pumpkin, and we're gonna create a ghost. So all 3 of our creatures use a very similar yarn chair wrapping technique. And then I'll just show you the different steps on how to create those specific characters today. So, all right, if you have a question, if you have a comment, if you want to say hello, drop me a little line, drop me a comment, and I can answer those as we go here. So, the first thing I'm going to show you today is the spider. Now, I do have a spider that I made in preparation. So here's our little spider, our little yarn spider. Okay, I'm used purple. You can use black if you'd like, but Hugh's favorite color is purple. So we are making purple spiders today. What you're gonna do is I'm going to show you the prep for the spider and the pumpkin using our orange pumpkin thread. And then once we get to the second step here, or third step, I'll show you how to make specifically the spider and then specifically the pumpkin. Okay, so our first step in all of our creatures is wrapping our yarn. So I have the orange yarn finished here. I've wrapped the yarn 100 times around the chair. For the spider, I did 75 because it doesn't need to be as full. My little spider guy, here we go. It's not as full, but for the pumpkin, I wanted a fuller effect. So I did wrap it a few more times, and I'm gonna just give it a couple extra wraps here, if you guys can see. It's kind of hard with my background being the same colors of fall. So I just wrap my yarn around the chair. So moms, dads, caregivers, if you're doing this with a little, this is a great activity to have them help with, is this part. So this is probably about 110 times now. You could go up to 150 if you want something like really, really full. And then you're gonna grab your scissors, which I forgot to grab mine. I'll be right back. Gotta find my scissors. I got them, found my scissors. Okay, so I have my scissors. I'm going to, after I've wrapped my yarn around the chair, 100 times or so, depending, maybe 75 for the spider, closer to 125 for the pumpkin. I'm gonna cut just the end of the yarn here, okay? And then I'm gonna carefully slide, I don't know if you guys can see this better, slide my yarn off my chair. Okay, there we go, nice and strong. Okay, so I have this nice little donut here of yarn. I'm going to lay that in front of me. Just want to make sure you guys can see it. There. Okay, what I'm going to do next is cut 3 pieces of yarn about 14 inches. So I'm going to just do it kind of the length of my arm here. I think that's about 14 inches. So 1, 2, and 3. Again, this is what you will do with your pumpkin yarn, your spider yarn, and then for our ghost yarn, our process is just a little bit different, okay? So this is the pumpkin and spider prep here. Okay, I have 3 pieces of yarn that I can cut, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to tie 1 in the middle, right here, and you want to tie it as tight as you can. We're going to double knot it. Okay. 2, 3, and we're going to pull it tight, as tight as we can. You know what? I think I need to call in a reinforcement to help me. Oh, Tom! Honey! Tom? I think he's plugged in. I don't think he can hear me. Tom! Okay, I guess no reinforcement. Tom! Nope. Nope. He's just in the other room, but he can't hear me. That's fine. Okay, so if you have a little that's helping you, have them put your finger on, have them put their finger on the knot so you can get a really tight knot. This is the center of one of your pumpkins, so you want to make sure that the strings don't come out. So the tighter you can get it, the better. And again, I'm going to double knot it. Now you want to make sure you're doing this activity in a spot that's well lit, because I was having a hard time with my purple and my black yarn seeing my 2 like little tails here from the knot yesterday. So again, I'm going to tie 1 knot in the middle, okay, and then a little bit from the ends, okay, so about here and about on the other side too, like right here. We're gonna do 2 more, okay? So again, we're gonna take our piece of cut string, and I didn't cut this one in half. It's funny. Okay, and we are going to do the same thing on both ends. We wanna make sure too that we can still see the center of the big loop that we pulled off our chair. So again, I'm going to tie it as tight as I can. If you have a helper, this is the best to have them put their finger on the middle of the knot and then can loop it around like that and pull tight. Again, the tighter the better, because you don't want your pom-pom to fall apart. And then on this side. So again, this is for the pumpkin and for the ghost. We do something similar for the ghost, but the step is just a little bit different. So again, I'm pulling as tight as I can and then making another knot here. Like that. Boom, brilliant. Okay, our next step, we want to keep our tails separate. Okay. Our next step is cutting on either side of our middle. So we're gonna do a little snippety snap here and a little cutting right here, okay? So we're gonna make 3 pumpkins at this point. All right, gonna cut. I will admit these are my kitchen scissors because I don't know where my art scissors are, but we make do with what we have to do, okay? So we have this one, I just cut off one end, and then I'm gonna cut down the middle of the loop, okay, to cut my strings apart here. Okay, there we go. So this is one. I'm gonna cut the other side off like this, making sure I'm not cutting my tails as I go here. There we go. And then I'm going to cut again with the end. I'm going to cut down the middle, cut the loop. Great, oops, there we go. And I want to be careful not to pull on the strings that are loose, right? I only want to find the tail of the knot that I tied. Okay, so that's going to be really important as we continue on here. Because if you see, I'll just show you an example. I have a long one here. I could pull that right out. So you want to make sure too when you're working with your little pom-poms here that you are only working with the strings that are attached to the knot that you tied. Those won't pull out. Okay. There we go. So as you can see, our middle knot too is already a pumpkin. Now in making our pumpkin, we are going to need to give our little guy a haircut here. So the pom-pom stands up a little bit more. This is why you want to wrap as many times, like 100, 125, 150 times feels like a lot, but then you're gonna get a really nice, full, fun pumpkin shape. So again, I'm gonna hold my strings for the knot that I tied, and this is how I'm going to kind of start my little haircut here. So I'm going to just start trimming my ends, and there might be, you know, a more professional way to do this, but this is the Tricia Roberts way. I'm gonna just start cutting, okay, and then kind of making them similar size, because I know the shorter, the spikier, the more full it's going to look here. So I'm just gonna give my little pom-pom a haircut, and then we'll go from there. We'll kind of see what it looks like after. I left my spider, for example, my purple spider, a little bit longer, so it kind of had like a shaggier look, but I definitely want my pumpkin to be more round. Okay, so you can see how already the side that I am cutting is starting to stand up more versus my floppy side over here. Okay, this is kind of a fun part. I would suggest this part is for older students who have practiced with the scissors. This part would not be for your littles. Your littles can help with wrapping the yarn. They can help with tying the knot. But I would not suggest littles be in charge of the scissors just because it's a little bit hard to manage in that regard. Okay, let's cut this some more. Little haircut here. New definition for the quarantine cut. Which our son Hugh keeps getting. I'm back. I'm hoping I'm back, guys. If I might have cut out for a second, but I am back. Okay, I'm still like just cutting. Again, I want to avoid the center part here, so I want to make sure that those are nice and short. And again, I'm sure there's a professional out there who has like a much better way to do this, but that's okay. This is how we're doing it today. We still have to go out and get pumpkins to carve. It's on our to-do list this week. I have a bunch of friends who've been sharing their pictures of their carved pumpkins, and they're just so creative. And I don't know why, but I can only do like the blocks. I'm just not good when it comes to carving pumpkins. Oh, got a little bit of a longer part over here. So again, this is a little bit tedious, but it's kind of fun. It's not kind of fun, it's really fun. I think this is fun. Okay, So my pumpkin is coming together here. You can see, again, maybe I should have wrapped it a few more times to make it even more floofy. Gonna give it a little toss. And again, I'm just gonna keep trimming it shorter because I like the look. You can kind of see, right here. I like this look better than I like this straggly look. So I'm gonna start holding it upright so I can make those cuts and adjustments. As always, guys, once I finish my project, because I won't have you sit here and watch me do my haircut of my pom-pom all day, but once I finish it, I'll put up a picture of what my end product looked like, and I hope that you guys do the same. I'd love to see your creations, whether you're doing this on your own, whether you're doing this with family or friends. You know, let me see. Tom is here now, so he can be my helper for the ghost. Yay! He got caught. I found you. I need some help tying some strings. Will you help me? Mm-hmm. Great. How does that look, honey?
That's good.
More pumpkin-like. Okay, so it's not perfect, but I'm going to show you the next step just because then you're not sitting with me here all day cutting pumpkins. Woo, this made quite the mess. All good, all good. I should find a snippet yarn tutorial of what to do with all of our scraps. Okay. To make the stem, I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and I think I'm going to just cut it in half. Now, I have a black one. If you have a green one, that probably would pop a little bit more. I am going to wrap it around that knot area. So I'm going to put it in where the knot is. I'm going to tie it using my tails. So those two strings that I was holding on to, I'm going to double knot it here. And then I'm going to turn it into a stem and try to do a leaf. So I'm gonna bring these edges together. I'm gonna bend it over like this, okay? And then I'm gonna make a little bit of like a leaf detail here. If you wanted a bigger stem, leave it full, but I didn't think that was necessary. Great, and so then I have my little pumpkin stem. Again, you could then cut the tails once your pumpkin stem is on. You could use that to attach it to the garland, but I think I would use fishing twine instead. And then you've got this cute little pumpkin. Again, I still need to shape him up. He's a little bit scraggly, but you can see, you can imagine what he'll look like when he's done, okay? To go on with the spider really quickly before we move on to the ghost, my spider here, what I did is I did very similar to the pumpkin, okay? I got it ready. When I got ready to attach my pipe cleaners, I took one and I took two and I cut it in half, okay? And then I also found my tails, okay? I found my tails for my knot and I tied those on, double knotted my two halves. So two full pipe cleaners, both cut in half, so you have 4 legs on either side, which makes 8, math. And then you tie those together. At the bottom, I then bring up my tails here, and I can use those to tie on the garland. He's not cooperating. There we go. Also, then I bend my legs out like that, okay, to give it a little bit of character. Again, I left this one a little bit shaggier. You could wrap more to make it more full, and you could also cut it shorter to give it a little bit more volume, but I kind of like the shaggy spider look, okay? And then you would hang those on. So we have our spider. Again, you use the same process as with the pumpkin, except for when it comes to the length that you're cutting and also how many pipe cleaners you're tying on, okay, and how you design those. We're gonna do the ghost next. Okay, so refocusing just a little bit. We're gonna go back to the chair wrapping step. Now, I still need to wrap, so you're gonna have to hang out with me while I wrap here for a couple minutes. Not a couple minutes, but just a little bit of time. Because we want our ghost to be nice and fluffy. So I'm just gonna wrap here and chat with you for a minute. Whew. Thanks all for watching, checking in. Just as another note, this holiday season, we do have our Celtic singers who are performing. You can get tickets on our website. We also have our watercolor show is up right now in our gallery. So I talked about plein air. Those are on display now. And then we also have our gallery show is our Watercolor Society. And that is also a very beautiful show. So as you can see here, I found my method for wrapping. I have my ball of yarn on the floor, and it is in a ball. It's not like in the oblong, the spool. I like to ball my yarn just because it's easier for me when I crochet. Any other crocheters out there, that would be fun to have like a little crochet time. I miss people. I miss seeing everyone. Okay, so this is how I found I do my best chair spooling now that I've done it a few times. But you could hand the spool and have your child run around the chair holding the spool. That is probably what I would have Hugh do to get all of his energy out these days, because it is a lot and I am tired. Okay, I'm gonna say this is pretty good here. I just want to make sure we're set and ready to go. Okay, and I do need some leftover white, so I'm going to chop it here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get our spool ready, and we are going to pull off our ghost. So we're going to remove our yarn from our chair again. And again, depending on how tightly you wound, it depends on how hard it is to peel off. And again, I'm going to just lay it down nicely so I can see where the inner loop is. Okay, that donut, if you will. You're also going to want 6 pieces of that 14-inch length. Okay, so again, I just use kind of like my arm as my ruler. I think that's about 14 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 here. And I might just cut part of my loop here. Here's my last bit. Where's my string? That's my start. Well, there we go. Just about 14 inches, and then I've got it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to take this. Let me just look at my notes really quickly. We are going to tie 1 piece of yarn tightly around the center of each chunks. So 3 pieces aside. Here we go. Okay, so we are going to cut this in half, the big loop. Okay. So this is where it differs from the pumpkin and from the spider. So we've got our big loop here, we've cut it. I'm gonna lay it out on the table. I know it's a little bit difficult to see. Okay, and we are going to tie 3 in the center, 1 in the center, and again, this is where I was hoping Tom could help, but he's busy now. I lost him. Okay, 1 here, and then in the center and center. Not quite in the center because we want to give ourselves a little bit of a room here. This. Like this. There we go. And like this. Again, each spool, then we go around the chair, is going to be making 3 different creatures. So you'll have a total of 9 for your garland, or just 9 to put around the house somewhere. If you wanted to decorate like in a window or something like that too. Okay, so I've tied 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. From here, okay. So we are going to cut these into 3 chunks now. go. If you hear men talking in the background, that's my dad and Tom. They are working on a project at the house this morning too. Okay, so I'm going to take our middle chunk to show. So I have the rope tied in the middle here, okay, with our tails. Okay, and then you can use this to hang your ghost on the garland. We're going to take that other piece. Remember, we cut 6 of these, so you technically need 2 for each ghost, and I'm going to tie that around the top. I think this is the easiest one to make. I'm going to tie that around the top to make the head of the ghost, and I'm going to do a double knot here again, like so. I'm gonna let those strings hang there. Okay, spooky, Tom says. Okay, and I'm gonna pull any loose ones, and then you have the opportunity again to cut, okay, and make your ghost as cute as can be. So there you have it. The ghost, again, is the simplest. Again, the tighter you can get this one, the more defined, right, that top of the ghost head will be. And then you have your other strings here that you can attach to the garland. If you don't want to attach these to the garland, then I would work them back in like this, okay? And then tie that rope around to make the head, including those. And then you could attach some fishing line. So at the end, right, once we have all of our creatures made, I would take some different kind of thread. You could do a twine. You could do, I'm going to choose a black thread. You cut it the length that you want, and then you take some fishing line or another fun thread or something like that, and then you attach them. If you're making a garland, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can attach them by tying them tight to the yarn or the twine, whatever you're using as your hanging mechanism, so they stay in that specific spot. I like to tie them loose so then I can adjust them a little bit depending on where I'm hanging the garland. So that is our class for today. I'll be back the next like 2 or 3 weeks with some other fall/Halloween themed crafts, so please feel free to join me. Then I'll come back late November, early December to provide some like Christmassy, wintry themed crafts as well. So we'll just do a couple weeks at a time and we'll take a break. We are up on YouTube, so any channel that you want to go to or any time that you want to go check out our channel, you can find all of our summer Live Art Wednesday videos with Tricia Roberts, that's me, on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching. We hope you're well, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye, everybody.